So, hello everyone, and welcome to this weekly session that we have, Ask AuxEn Anything. And as you all know, that this is an online platform for civil structural engineers to interact with us and ask their queries or doubts that they may have related to steel, RCC, design concepts, or any project that they are doing, or construction site issues. So, this is the 43rd such episode, and let us begin by taking the queries that have been asked in today's session. So, first query is from Engineer Alek Katuwal from Kathmandu, Nepal. And let me just paste his queries. So, I am taking this query from Google Form. So, he's saying I have few confusions related to steel truss design in ETABS. I have a 3-story RCC building having steel roof truss. My confusions are this. Okay, so this exact query he had asked, I just checked before today's episode. He had asked the same query on 31st of August also. Exact same query was asked by him on 31st of August, and we had answered it in the Ask AuxEn Anything episode number 35. So I'll request him to just go to this episode and see over there. We have replied to this query over there. Okay, it has been answered over there. Exact same question had been put up over there. So go to episode number 35 and you will get your reply. Okay, so moving ahead. Uh, that's it. So we don't have any more queries. Engineer Devang Rathod, he is a working professional. He has not put any query. And Engineer Hiren Desai from Surat, he is also an independent consultant. He has also not put any query over there, any query as such. So we don't have any further queries on the Google form. So now if anyone in the live audience wants to ask, they may type in their queries. We will wait for your queries to come up. Okay. Yes, since we do not have any queries in the Google form, if there are any live comments, I mean queries from the live audience, we may take them. So I'm just waiting for anyone in the live comments to from in the live audience to ask their queries, because this time there are no queries that have been put in the Google form. So any query from the live audience? Yes, please. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes. If there is any live query or if there is any query from the live audience, we shall take it. So we have a question. Vikas Nimbarkar 1003 share basic of PV structure. What does that mean? I didn't understand. Share basic of PV structure means. Sandeep 3308. Hello sir, can we discuss how to apply forces on multiple towers in a single podium or non-tower extended area? Which forces you are wanting to ask? Can we discuss how to apply forces on multiple towers in a single podium or non-tower? I'm not clear. I mean, the question is not clear. What is being asked over here? Mr. Vikas was asking share basic of PEB structure. What basic you want? Please elaborate your query. Yes, I'm still waiting for any queries from the live audience. Mr. Sandeep Bhadarshah is asking seismic forces, how to apply uh, forces on multiple towers in a single podium. So if okay, so let me see what he is asking. So you are saying that you have a multiple. I'm showing you the plan view. So this is your podium, and then this is tower one. Is this what you are asking? Tower two. Let's say here there's a tower three inclined slightly like this, maybe tower four. Then there is a tower five, and now you want to apply the seismic forces on this. Okay, okay. So for this, actually, what will happen is that it is slightly tricky. Why it is tricky? Because if you want to apply it in ETABS, the time period of this entire structure, I don't know. I mean, it will calculate the time period, but that will be for the entire structure and complete with the podium and towers, everything. So that time period calculation first you will have to check if you are making an integrated model. If you are making an integrated model, you will have to check how that time period calculation is happening. Why we are stressing on the time period calculation? Because the seismic forces are calculated as per the time period, right? So time period, how that is getting calculated? First, you have to see that whether, let's say, the mode shapes you will have to investigate. It will happen that mode shape, let's say mode 1, maybe this tower vibrates. In mode 2, maybe this tower vibrates in this direction. Maybe mode 3 this. Then for mode 4, maybe it vibrates in this direction. It may happen or it may not happen also. So this is slightly tricky. Therefore, what you can do is you may consider making independent models. You may consider making independent models. This is my suggestion. Now in independent models, what you can do, suppose your tower and this podium is getting connected. If your tower and podium is connected at the podium level, then maybe you could make an independent model like this with some portion of the podium also modeled, maybe one, two, three grids of podium columns also modeled. So let's say this is my tower one, and I have modeled it with the a small portion of podium. Okay, this is an independent model. This is a independent ETABS model or STAD, whatever that I create. Then I run the time period on this. Then I run the time period on this, and then I find out what are my time periods, etc. I find out the seismic forces, and then let's say I give some diaphragm assignments. So I'll get the seismic forces for each story level. Is that understood? Once I do that, then what I can do, similarly, I can create independent models for other towers also, together with some portion of podium slab. So let's say I create another model. This is my tower T2. Then I create another model. So on each of these small models that I'm preparing, this is my T3. On each of these small models that I'm making, I'll calculate the EQ forces. Then once I get the EQ forces, what I will do, I will note down these forces, and I will see what are the forces being applied on the diaphragm level. So in ETABS, we do have this option of getting the diaphragm forces. Okay, you do get the diaphragm forces. If you want to see that what EQ forces are getting applied, you can just go to ETABS, and I think in the display show forces option, you will get these diaphragm forces, or even in the results options, you can get them. So you extract those forces. Understood? You extract those forces, then you come to your main model. Now this was your integrated model. Now here you assign those diaphragms. So you are assigning some D1 diaphragm for this. You assign a different diaphragm D2 for this. You assign a different diaphragm D3 for this, and so on. And then you apply those forces at each diaphragm level that you had extracted from these independent models. Is it making sense what I'm saying? So once you do that, then you could run your integrated model over here. So I think this is one of the ways you could do this. And it will only be for the podium checks, because your independent towers are anyway getting analyzed in your small models that you're preparing. So this will be mainly for your podium check, that you are doing these things. Now this will get tricky if you want to do the response spectrum analysis, because extracting the response spectrum analysis results from these small models and then putting it over here, I think maybe slightly tricky. So you just see how you are able to extract these forces. Let's say how the response spectrum forces you are able to uh, extract. Maybe you could just get some model outputs, and I don't know how it will work. If you want to do a response spectrum, I will have to think that how you can uh, extract the forces from these small models and bring it over here. But let's say if you were running an equivalent static, this process that I explained will work well. You could use this process that I just explained, at least for the equivalent static. And I think for podium, equivalent static is also enough. You don't have to worry much about the uh, you don't have to worry much about the response spectrum results, at least for the podium level. Mr. Sandeep is saying, but it is not working after running the model. What's not working? Yeah, so response spectrum, extracting it from small model and bringing it to the big model may be slightly tricky. But as I just told you, for equivalent static, this process you can adopt. Okay. All right. Then next query, Salmon Linet. I work in tendering and project coordination. What would be your course I should go for that could be easy for me? I have zero design experience. Maybe you could start with the basic courses that we have done in RCC steel design. So you could look at the basic courses that we have done in RCC design. and steel design. So let's say after your graduation, post graduation, you don't have any experience of working on designs, this type of course will help you. Okay, so you could have a look. You can go to our website, go to basic course option, and you will get these courses over there. All right. uh, Jiraya Parvi Sage, can you explain backstay analysis? Backstay analysis we have discussed in detail in one of our courses, that is on tall buildings. So the basic concept of backstay analysis is that, let's say this is my tower in elevation I'm showing you, and this is my podium. Okay, so these are my podium levels, and my tower is like this. These are my podium levels, and let's say this is basement, whatever basement, something like this maybe. So you, if you compare the, and this is my tower. Now if you compare this thing with a tower which was standalone like this, what will happen? That when you apply lateral forces, when you apply lateral forces, those may be due to wind or seismic, mainly due to yeah. So what you will notice that at these podium levels, you get a restraint. So it is just like assuming this as a, let's say, a cantilever, and in this case it is like this is a cantilever but with a translation restraint over here. So if you are applying lateral forces, the behavior in these two cases will be different. So the towers with connected podiums will get a backstay from these podium levels. So this effect is called as the backstay effect. So if you had a freestanding tower, maybe the bending moment diagram, I mean, assuming it as a, idealizing it as a vertical cantilever, you would get something like this. But there is a possibility, because of the backstay effect, you get reduction in the uh, bending moments after the backstay level, or sometimes you get even a, sometimes you can even get a load, you will get a reversal of forces also. Okay, so that sort of a effect is called as a backstay effect, because of which what you are having, reduction in the overall overturning moments. So this analysis when we do, or these checks rather when we do, these are called as backstay analysis effects, and they have been explained in the IS 16700:2023. So then the code tells you that you have to make a direct load path and a backstay load path, and then you have to do the sensitivity analysis, upper bound, lower bound. So all those things then you can follow as per the code. These things we have discussed in detail in the tall buildings course that we have conducted. Okay, basic concept is this, that the podium levels provide restraint to lateral forces in these types of towers or buildings. Yeah, Mr. Sandeep is saying, Sandeep Badarshah is saying, he's adding to this that all diaphragm forces applied, but after that, if I run the model, it will not work. What do you mean it will not work? I am not getting your point. What is meant by it will not work? Is the analysis not happening, or what's happening? Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just take the another next question. Mr. Chetan Mastikatta is asking, what is the difference between? So he has just joined our RCC design course. He's asking what is the difference between modeling a full slab and then creating slab cutouts. using the opening tool versus directly modeling the slab only in the required region, which is correct. So his question is that in these softwares like etabs or etabs or safe, let's say you had a slab over here, and suppose you wanted to create an opening. One way is that I'll model my slabs like this, maybe. Okay, so I'll model these slab panels in a way that this is left empty, and then there is another option in these softwares like etabs or safe, that I model the complete slab, and then there is an opening option over here. There is an opening option over here. Okay, so using these two approaches you could do this modeling. So he is asking which one is appropriate, whether to model the complete slab and then create using an opening option, or to create slabs all around like this. So what I have not experimented it and compared the results, but when I used to work earlier, what my seniors were sort of telling me that this option they used to this option they preferred, where they just did not model any physical element over here, just kept it unmodeled, and automatically that became your opening. So instead of this option using the opening command, they used to prefer this option of not modeling the slab. But I have worked with this second option also, especially in flat slabs. If you want openings, it is much more convenient to use this opening option, and this also works well. Sometimes I have seen problems happening if it is within that 10D, if this opening is within the 10D distance from your column centroid, and then you have to take its effect in perimeter reduction for punching. Sometimes over there I have seen some problems with this opening modeling, but otherwise I think both work just fine. Okay, both work just fine. Yeah. Mr. Sandeep is adding that analysis is complete. Okay, so analysis is complete, but what is not happening then? Is it the design? Because if analysis is complete, then it will, but no change after applying forces as compared with without applying diaphragm forces. No, then I will have to check before I can make any comments. I'll have to check it myself before I can make any comments. So you can send me an E2K file of this integrated model and one or two small models that you have prepared. Maybe during the next week, I'll try and check it. Okay. Code Rod 2024 is asking any updates on RCC course as per ACI. Yeah, we will be starting with a new course in coming days. That will be on the RCC design using ACI codes. So just now we had completed a course on steel design using the American AISC codes. Now we will be starting with a concrete design course based on American ACI codes. So we'll do that soon. We slightly it is getting delayed. We were supposed to start in November second week, but it may get slightly delayed. I'll just keep you informed. So American codes for concrete design are published by American Concrete Institute, ACI. Okay. So we will be starting a course on concrete design using ACI 318, and the older version was 2019. So in etabs, it is still not implemented. I think the version 23, which has just been released last week, that has the updated 2025 version in it. Otherwise, the 2019 version is there in the etabs, and instead they still have the 2019 version, that too in the RCDC module. So we will be soon starting with this course. We had just finished a course on American Code Steel Design, AISC. Many people are confused with between AISC and ACI. ACI is American Concrete Institute. AISC is American Institute for Steel Construction. Okay, so all the codes for steel design are published by this AISC. So this is their parent code. Then we had covered the seismic design and detailing code, and we had covered the connections design, special connections, pre-qualified connections in this course, AISC, American Institute for Steel Construction. So we just finished this steel design course, and now we'll start with the RCC design course very soon. So in India, like we have a central authority, Bureau of Indian Standards, and under the Bureau of Indian Standards, all codes are published. In US, they have different institutions. So American Concrete Institute brings out the codes for concrete design or codes related to concrete design and construction. Similarly, AISC brings out codes on steel construction and design. Then you have Welding Society AWS, which brings out codes on weldings and connections. Then you have AASHTO, I guess. It is the American Association for Transport and something. So all road related codes they bring out. So in America, they have different, they do not have a centralized institution like the BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, that we have over here, but they have all these independent bodies which bring out these different set of codes. Okay. So ACI, American Concrete Institute, brings out the concrete design and construction codes. ACI 318 is the parent code for RCC design. So we will soon be starting with a course on concrete design using RCC design using the ACI 318. So this we will do on ETABS and STAD, and because STAD does not fully support the design part, we will also have a look at RCDC, and we will also use SAFE. So this is the plan. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Any other question we have? Any other query from the live audience? I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. I'll just also check in the email if any question has been put over there. So no question in the email also, and no question in the Google form also. So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for live audience. Otherwise, we will close today's session. Okay. Yes, please. So which softwares are you people mainly using? No, let me ask this. If mainly you're involved in RCC design or steel design? The people who are there in the live audience, are you mainly involved in doing RCC designs or structural steel design? Or are you working on construction site or any other field. If anyone wants to just put in the live audience comment. Okay. So I think many of you are working in the RCC design consultancies and RCC design offices, and not many are working in the offices where steel design is done. Mr. Sandeep is saying he works at a consultancy office where he deals with both types of structures, RCC as well as structural steel. Good. Okay, so I guess we don't have any query from the live audience then. So we will close down today's session, and then we will meet you again next week. So the Google form remains the same for putting your queries. So during the week, you can put your queries over here. And once every week, when we conduct this session, we will we take your queries. You may also add images or photographs to your queries to make them clearer. Mr. Rajesh Singh is saying, what is the best practice for slab modifier when we use it as shell thin? So you refer to the codes. As of now, IS 456 does not have any slab modifiers or any stiffness modifiers for that matter. In the updated IS 456, they will include the modifiers. But if you go to IS 16700 for tall buildings, they have modifiers in place. Uh, and if you go to ACI code also, there also they have given the stiffness modifiers. So there is no best practice as such. You adopt the modifiers as per your design standard. Why are you putting modifiers? Because to sort of simulate the cracked cracked behavior of your RCC sections, and because of cracking you don't have the gross moment of inertia available, so you have some effective moment of inertia available which is less than the gross. So to simulate that effect, we provide the stiffness modifiers. So it's not about the best practice. You go to the design standard that you're following and see what are the modifier values given. Okay. All right. So during the week, if you want to put any query, the Google form remains the same. You can, I have just pasted the link over here. So you can keep on putting your questions. And once every week when we meet, we will take your queries. And if you want to connect with us, you may message us on WhatsApp over here. So I'll just put that link also. So you can just put your query. Sorry, if you want to connect with us, you can just message us using this link. Mr. Sandeep Badashah is saying, AuxEn and you are very supportive to me to work on this file. Yes, thank you, Sandeep Badashah. You have been an old participant with us, and thanks for your continuous appreciation and feedback that you every time give to us. Thanks a lot. Okay, so then that's it for this session. We will close today's session and see you next week. Till then, have a good time, and that's all. Bye bye. Thank you.